morning, Taglieri students, and welcome to Monday Mornings with me, Emma Buckley, your host. Today we'll be discussing population growth. Coming up first, I will be interviewing Professor Nancy Herbert about the effects of population growth. After an intriguing panel between two population experts about what the government and international community should do about population. Then we'll zoom on over to reporter Leslie Kent. She's on location in China, where she's going to discuss China's one-child policy. But first, I've gathered some basic facts about population. So here we go. World population refers to the total number of humans living in the world. The world population has been on a constant rise since the Great Famine and Black Death ended in 1350. With more humans born every year than dead, the Earth is under increasing pressure to provide for their sustenance. According to the United States Census Bureau, the world population is estimated to be more than 7.8 billion and rising as I speak. The continent with the highest population is Asia, which accounts for 60% of world's population. It has 4.2 billion inhabitants. And lastly, every year we add 80 million to our global population. That's about one United States every 4 years, or 1 billion more every 12 years. Almost half of the global population is under the age of 25, and their decision during their reproductive years will determine whether we have 6 billion or 14 billion people by 2100. Quite an astounding thought, if you ask me. Coming up after the break, I have Professor Nancy Herbert with me to discuss the effects of population. Hello all, and welcome back. I now have Professor Nancy Herbert with me. Hi, Professor. Thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Thank you for inviting me. It's a pleasure to be here.
Can you tell us some basic information about population?
Yes. Unfortunately, population growth has started to create a negative effect on our planet. Since more and more women are reproducing, especially in the developing countries, people are starting to consume more resources and using a larger percent of our Earth's environment. This is not good for us. Public health has started to go downhill with unclean air along with poor sanitation. This alone is killing more than 12 million people per year, and air pollution kills 3 million more. Then we ask ourselves, will there be enough food for everyone?
And will there?
Well, we don't have an answer currently because 64 out of our 105 developing countries' population is growing faster than their food supply. If we keep this up for much longer, we will definitely not have enough food for people.
That sounds very serious, Professor. What do you suggest we do?
Well, Emma, there's a few things we could do. The first and most important is to give every single woman on this planet access to birth control and other contraceptives. This will give women the option to use these and protect themselves from pregnancies if they choose to do so. The other thing we must do is stop wasting resources and polluting. We can use the technology we have today to find other methods of resource consumption. We must implement all of these solutions immediately, or else we're headed for some deep, deep waters.
Wow. Thank you so much for sharing your knowledge, Professor. Coming up, our panel debate between two population experts. Stay tuned. Welcome back, Monday viewers. Next up, a panel debate about what the government and international community should do about population growth. With us today, we have Kathy Sanders from the Bureau of Population, Migration, and Refugee, where she focuses on population policy. And on the other end, we have Amala Deep, who is an Indian government worker in support of policies and forced sterilization. Oh, nice. Hello, ladies. How are you today?
I'm well. Thanks for having me, Emma.
Mm-hmm.
I'm very well. It's a pleasure to be here.
Great. Let's get started. Kathy, we'll start with you. What is your opinion on what the government should do about population?
I stand with the U.S. government and believe that the goal of population policies should be to promote healthy populations.
And Kathy, how do you suppose we do that?
We can achieve this by supporting sexual and reproductive rights, and as well as volunteer family planning, women empowerment, and efforts to combat HIV and AIDS. And I also believe that family sizes should be decided by the couple itself, not the government.
Interesting. Now, let's hear the other side. Amala, what do you think the government should do about population?
Well, as you probably already know, India is predicted to become the world's most populated country by 2030, going from the 1.25 billion it is today to 1.5 billion in just 15 years. India also has the highest rates of female sterilization. About 37% of women are getting the operation compared to China's 29%. I believe that the option of sterilization will stabilize and control population size, and it's much cheaper than birth control and other contraceptives.
I could not disagree more. I do not endorse population stabilization or control through sterilization. Every attempt at these types of policies, including sterilization, have ended as coercive programs that force the citizens.
That is just not true. 4.6 million women were sterilized in 2011 and 2012. Do you really believe that all of these women were forced to do that? No, they chose to do that for themselves. These are government-run sterilization camps. They're not some creepy place in the back alleys. They're safe.
No, they may not have all been forced, but they were certainly coerced by offering money to the poorest of your country who desperately need that to survive. Last year, in one day, 80 women got the sterilization procedure and immediately 60 became ill. These patients you claim to be safe are not examined prior to the surgery, and most are in very poor physical condition. Instead of having your women herded like cattle, help them.
This is bull!
Okay, I think we're gonna wrap this up for now. As you can see, this is a very controversial topic. When we get back, we're gonna head on over to see reporter Leslie Kent, who's on location in China. She's got some stuff in store for us, so stay tuned. Welcome back. Now, a live report with Leslie Kent, who's on location in China, and she's going to give us a report on the one-child policy. Leslie, are you with us?
Yes, I'm here, live in Beijing, China, ready to give you the scoop on the one-child policy.
Great. Take it away, Leslie.
I'm here on the busy streets of Beijing, China, where the size of the population is evident. The one-child policy restricts Chinese couples, allowing them to have only one child. For any couple that conceives a second child, the government will force abortions and sterilizations. Due to the cultural norms in China, having a boy is more desirable. For families to attain this desired outcome, they go through illegal ultrasounds and abortions to ensure their only child to be born is a son, like the clinic behind me. The unpredicted effect this policy has is the intentional condemning of millions of girls. Many have been illegally aborted, abandoned, or placed in human trafficking. It is not only the girl babies that are affected, but also the mothers who have a girl that are not able to or choose not to eliminate her. These women are often shunned by their husbands, families, and society. According to The Economist, there's about 13 million Chinese who lack birth certificates because they were born in violation of the one-child policy. Without the proper paperwork, these children, mostly made up of girls, have no access to education, jobs, marriage, or even to take out a book from the library. These girls can't start over because they have no way of buying a plane or train ticket to relocate, leaving these millions vulnerable to mistreatment. Slowly, the one-child policy has been loosening, and just recently, China announced that couples would be allowed to have a second child, as long as one of the parent was an only child. So far, it is too soon to tell the impact this will have on China's population. That's all for now. Signing off, I'm Leslie Kent. Back to you, Emma.
Thank you, Leslie. What an interesting policy. As you can tell from this morning's segment, population growth is becoming a serious global issue. With China's one-child policy and India's government sterilization, we don't know what might happen next. With our population growing over 7 billion, we need answers fast. As Martin Luther King Jr. said, unlike plagues of the Dark Ages or contemporary diseases we do not understand, the modern plague of overpopulation is soluble by means we have discovered and with resources we possess. What is lacking is not sufficient knowledge of the solution, but universal consciousness of what the gravity of the problem and education of the billions who are its victim. Such a powerful statement. Finally, I want to hear from you. Tweet me at #MondayMorningsWithEmma and give me your opinion on the rising issue. Also, log on to our website to find out more about what you can do. We've covered a lot this morning, but unfortunately it's time to wrap it up. Tune in for tomorrow for Tuesday Talks with me, your host, Emma Buckley, where I'll cover fun, fast ways to get fit. Thanks for joining us and have a great day.
Herself give women the option to use these and protect themselves from pregnancies. Implement these solutions immediately. That will be good. If not, we're headed for some deep waters. From China on the one-child policy. Leslie, are you with us?
Yes, I'm here, live in Beijing, China. Decreased. Why, you might ask? Leaving these millions vulnerable to exploitation. Leaving these millions vulnerable to mistreatment. Leaving these children. Wait, did I start too early?
No, okay. Leaving these millions.
Leaving these millions vulnerable to mistreatment.